This week at Hey the Parents, we're talking all about family travel. The kind that starts before sunrise, when your eyes are burning, your parents are already fighting about directions, and you're trying to fall back asleep between a cooler full of sandwiches and a pile of activity books. We're flashing back to the golden age of road trips, paper maps, gas station bathrooms, Walkmans, and backseat cots that barely qualify as beds. And remembering the thrill of buffets, slushies in a fruit-shaped cup, and the family caravan that always left 15 minutes later than planned. Or maybe you're getting ready for takeoff and looking around for snacks before the seatbelt light even turned off. Then we'll fast forward to how we travel now, the age of packing cubes, travel pouches, sound machines, and allergy kits that would impress a field medic. We'll swap chaos stories, compare the ultra-organized Stallone trips to the Wing It and Pray Levine adventures, and debate which version of vacationing is actually more stressful, the retro road trip or the modern-day logistics operation. Because in Hey the Parents is an honest discussion about raising kids. I'm Michael Height.
I'm Sarah D.
And I'm Mike Levine.
Kids don't come with a handbook, so we need your help.
Where do babies come from?
Where do you think they come from?
Is this a kissing book?
Mama! Mama!
What?
Hi.
I learned it by watching you. There are no rules in this house. Not like a regular mom. I'm a cool mom.
We sent them to the best boarding schools. We hired the best nannies. We did everything right.
Hey, Mom! The meatloaf!
No drinking, no drugs, no kissing, no tattoos, no piercings, no ritual animal slaughters of any kind.
Together, we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
This is Hey Other Parents, an honest, messy, imperfect show for raising kids.
Hey, welcome back. It's us again.
What's going on? We're
Good
back.
to see you guys. Toodly-doo.
Toodle-doo.
Always a pleasure.
Always
Yes.
a pleasure. But this pledge happens to be happening on an evening night instead of our regular Sunday morning rituals. So this is
Yes.
pretty wild.
Good
Look at
times.
us.
I don't know what's tougher.
Ground up.
I don't know what's tougher. Like, I'm kind of tired right now, or tired being like waking up. You know?
Well, like literally everyone in the house right now is asleep except for me. So I feel like that's, I mean,
Really?
listener at home, I feel like you have to make the ultimate decision in your mind what you think the time is. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, Mike. It's not the case in my house.
Everyone's like, you making, you got some snacks?
Yeah. Got some fruit snacks there, Dad? Anything?
You know what?
Aw.
It's all
Some
part of the
chippies? You got
process.
some chippies?
All part of the process, Mike Levine. So we're so glad you guys came here to hang out with us. We figure out this parenting thing on season 3 of Hey the Parents. Just a quick reminder, next episode, episode 10, will conclude season 3 of Hey the Parents for this season. Then we're going to take a little pause about 3 weeks after that, and then we're going to come back for season 4. We kind of thought about it. We wanted to kind of make sure that we were kind of more consistent with our episodes, so it'd be kind of fun to kind of come back just in time for a little New Year's breakdown. But remember, season 3, episode 10 is going to be our episode where we have our little book club. So for the next week, we're going to do our book club. Our first time we're doing a book club. It'll be the first half of the book, Fierce Intimacy by Terry Real. So that is the first 3 sections of the book, if I'm not mistaken. It's somewhere around the 3-hour mark. And then what we'll do is in season 4, when we come back from a little break, then we'll do the second half of the book shortly into season 4. So we hope you guys enjoy listening to that, and we look forward to having that discussion. So whether you are in the car, folding laundry, cooking dinner, getting organized, listening to audiobooks, or on the go, we know that you have a lot of choice for podcasts out there, so thank you for listening to ours. And, of course, we'd like to send a big welcome to our new moms and dads listening, a big hearty hello to the returning listeners who are back to put up with us for yet another episode in Season 3 of Hey the Parents. If this is your first time joining us in this podcast, it is a chance for a few of us parents who decided that we needed to join our efforts together and try to get through this thing, as we call it, a survival course. We pick a different theme, we pick a different topic each week, where we discuss it from the standpoint of when we were younger, growing up with our own parents, and then we shift on over to now as adults, where we certainly did not get a handbook with our own kids. We talk about what we go through, we share some of our experiences, we learn from each other, and every week we feel a little bit better because we have each other and we have all of you. So we'd love to hear from you guys at home. This is kind of the theme of our episode. The question this week is, what crazy vacation rituals do you have before going off on a family trip? If you'd like to answer this question, have comments or questions for the show, you can get in touch with us one of 3 ways. 1, you can leave a message on our Hey the Parents voicemail line. 2, you can email the show. Or 3, you can join us on the socials. All that information is in the show notes. Why not pause the episode right now and tell us about your rituals before you head off on a family vacay? So without further ado, we're going to jump right into this part of the podcast, and that entails the topic of the week. Sarah D., what are we talking about today?
We're talking about picking up those kids and going on an adventure and sharing some tips and tricks that we have used to help us have the best family vacation travel experience possible.
Ooh, this is exciting. This is exciting. This
honestly,
is stressful.
Honestly, I don't know if I have any good tips and tricks. I just, the Levine situation. It's like a hot mess,
I love it.
I don't know if my tips and tricks are that good, guys.
This is it. Levine, listen to what happened. Levine's setting the bar. This is what he does. He's setting the bar real low right now, and then he's gonna come up with something that's gonna blow us all away. We're gonna be like, wow, that's
some
pretty good.
nugget of information. Don't worry. Don't sell yourself short yet.
I feel like it's gonna
I'm
be
nervous. I'm sweating.
He's gonna be like, listen, this is what you do. You get the best snacks going. You get I don't know. I don't know what it's gonna be, but I look forward to hearing from Levine on this one. So. I feel like this is kind of an interesting one. So the cool thing about this, I think, is we're kind of we sort of thought about that maybe that as people are kind of shifting into the late fall season, they're kind of thinking about maybe you're packing up your stuff, you're going away for Thanksgiving, or you're getting ready to go on a family trip. We just thought this one spoke to us. It feels like this is sort of that time of the year as you start to kind of get all that stuff together and kind of thinking about, hopping online and figuring out what those deals are for trips and stuff. And then you say to yourself, am I a madman? A staycation is probably far more intriguing. But hey, who am I to judge, We all make bad choices. But this episode is not about that. We're going to talk about getting away and what we do. But, thinking back now, I'm sure people at home probably have the same feeling as we do, thinking back on when you're younger. My parents were maniacs. They were the car had to be packed the night before. It was if it wasn't packed, it wasn't coming on the trip. You had to have your little bag of your activity bags and things ready to go. But it was all that had to be by the door. And it was either the Oldsmobile or the Plymouth Horizon, the Toyota Corolla. And someday we went and we got the Caravan with the wood paneling on the side. And then we have arrived. Ooh. That was, in my parents' eyes, that was probably we've reached peak pinnacle parenting. That was probably it.
Probably was.
What about you guys? Sarah D, what do we got?
So we never flew when we were younger because my dad hated flying. So we always did car trips, road trips. So my parents loved Pennsylvania, Virginia. For whatever reason, we'd always go to Colonial Williamsburg and to Dutch Wonderland, PA. So
I love it.
What we would do, we would wake up really early in the morning. We were not allowed to ride in our pajamas. And we would see other kids in their jammies. And we would be like, come on, Mom. And she'd be like, no.
So jealous.
I know, so jealous because I wanted to be crusty and in my jammies and walking through the rest stop or whatever. But so we got changed. We were in our proper clothes.
Your travel clothes.
Yes, our travel clothes. But it was so exciting because you the night before you picked out your clothes, what you're gonna wear. I had this cute little pink suitcase that held nothing, and it was really it was a toy. My mom, I don't know why she entertained me to let me have this, to bring it around on vacation. And I packed some things in there. I don't know what she did with the rest of the stuff. I guess in her bag or whatever. And then
one pair of jeans for 3 weeks.
For 3 days or something. Yeah. and then I always had to pack up there was Georgie, who was a doll, which, depending on what I was feeling like, Georgie was either a boy or girl. And then I also had a Cabbage Patch doll that always came with me as well. And then Anthony brought his action figures, and we would just snuggle up on the back seat because we had those that old brown car. I forget what car it was. It was before the Grand Marquis when we upgraded, but it was a brown car, I remember. And we would just be packed up. The cooler would be right behind us, and we'd be ready to just travel and stuff like that. I remember it was just so much fun.
All your stuff at your feet and ready to grab bagfuls, whatever you do.
Good memories. I love those.
Yes, and then to be my dad would be like, "Pass me another soda." I'd be like, "Okay," get in the cooler.
Pass me a sandwich from the back.
Yes.
And he's like, "Sarah, someday when your dog is really old, we're gonna bring him here to live the better part of his life."
Yes. Oh man, just enjoying the fresh air,
chasing cows,
herding those cows.
It's all good things.
Frolicking. We were convinced that we were going to see him in the fields, just having a good time.
Oh man, did your parents, Mike Levine? You gotta know because I don't know. My parents, I feel when we would go places, first we wake up at the super. We of course it was the butt crack. We wake up super early, and then everything was so. I'm about to say this out loud. You guys are gonna laugh at me because, my personality. Everything was so scheduled. It was
I'm not surprised.
Okay, so this
Oh
is where
my
we
God!
got
I
this from.
know.
This is good.
I know.
This is
It would
a
be
good
like,
sesh, too.
oh my God, this is really funny. I got like cold sweats. I'm about to be like ripped apart. Oh my God! No, because my parents would be like, all right, we gotta leave this time, whatever else, and then like we can't eat until we get to this spot. Like it was like there's no eating. We gotta get like here.
I hate that.
And I'd be like hungry and like it'd be like tired and like you'd have that feeling in your stomach from like waking up too early and brushing your teeth and your stomach would hurt and you'd be sitting in the car and just like your eyes are hurting because it's all like whatever, you're like tired, but it would be like there's no eating until we get to this part. And then we were on the Jersey Turnpike because like that's like the gateway drug to traveling to Florida. We would get on, there'd be so much traffic and my parents would be like, they'd be crazy. It'd be crazier on the way home, but like usually when we went to the Jersey Turnpike it would be like no one speaking, and then like they would put on like whatever random music or like oldie station to go on or like whatever it was, and it'd be like my sister and I were like no talking, sit in the car, no bathroom, no eating, no food until we got like past like whatever, until we got to like a Shoney's or something where you like hit the buffet hard. But it was crazy. They have like 1010 winds on or 880, and it was like just like serious listening to like traffic. And then like the maps were out, and then my parents would find some like they think they'd found some like secret route that no one's ever heard of, and like meanwhile it's on the map. And then like there would be like all of a sudden like somebody would be like, oh, you're not paying attention, and what mile mark are we at? And then it'd be like World War III, and then my sister and I'd be like, don't fight, everything's gonna be great. Why are we arguing? And then it was like, oh man, it was part of the process. Like you had to have the argument over the map. You had to have you can't talk. And then, of course, you had to have all this is going on. You'd be like, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yes. Then, you're like, I don't know if it's a good time right now, but I really need to pee. And that was like 30 exits
I see that we're in a rough neighborhood and we're in a lot of traffic. And I don't see a rest stop. But I need to go to the bathroom.
It's happening right now, actually.
And then my dad would have the question of like, can you hold it? But it wasn't like a can you hold it as if like there was a choice in the matter. It was like you can hold it. Is what it probably translated to, but it was a question, but it didn't come across like a question.
Right, and it was like, and it wasn't like just for the next stop. It was like for the next 20
it was
miles.
like it was like 10 miles later, and you'd be like, can we circle back to that part of the conversation where I have to go to the bathroom?
You're like, well, my eyes are crossed-eyed right now. But
oh my God, I think we stopped. Yo, this is crazy. I think one time we stopped at we were like, I think we hit traffic, and this was definitely on the way back, but we stopped off the Jersey Turnpike, and it was like some like side road, like almost like a service road. And we stopped because I had to pee so bad that like my parents just pulled over and like peed on the side of the road. We peed. This happened twice at the same person's house. I don't know.
Oh my God!
Oh, that's weird.
And I remember the second time, like I must have been like 7 years old. like yeah, maybe you're 17. No, it was like I was young. And this happened. I remember the second time, like obviously I'm peeing, like when you're a kid, you drink like 5 lemonades and you're like, this is a great idea. And then I remember like I'm peeing, like I had to keep going, and like the people were coming out of the house, and I was like, oh my God! And it was my parents were like, get in the car. And I'm like, oh, I can't.
I do it. Leave tire marks.
Oh my God! But only one time we were driving, and Noah had to pee, and like it was like a similar situation. It was like we can't. There's nowhere to pull over, and there's nowhere to pee over. I say pee over. It's like literally like Freudian slip. So like we pull over, and like I'm like just stand on the side of the van and just like pee in the tire because like whatever.
You good to go.
And like cars. I remember, God, like cars driving by, and then like. But the thing when you have a little kid is like he's like thinking like this is like the funnest thing ever, and like I want to do this again, and like now he thinks like he could just like for a little while after that he was like I don't need to wait for a bathroom, he could always like pee in the road, and I'm like no, this is not like, this was an emergency, this was not normal, and then it was like
I think all boys go through that a little bit.
It's kind of like a thrill when you're a younger kid. You're like, I'm gonna go for it, and you learn so much. You learn about the wind. You learn about
the wind.
I know.
I had a similar experience like when we went away with.
You went to that house too?
Yeah. No, just like
listen, I'm telling you, the nighttime version of our podcast is so different than first thing in the morning on Sunday.
Cool.
You ever do the thing where you make your kids like stand on your feet so they're taller to go in the urinal?
Oh man, that's
I'm like, my
classy.
feet hurt so bad. Like Noah's like hopping on my feet. I'm like just get on the Doc Martens, go.
Right.
Stand up there.
When the Levines went on a vacation, we usually went to Puerto Rico most of the time over the summer,
nice.
and we
Yeah,
would
it'd be hard
always
to drive
take a
there.
plane there. You know, can't really drive there
Fancy.
to visit family and stuff. But what was funny was when I got older and I started dating Taylor and became friends with my brother-in-law. They were going on a lot of family trips, the Stallones, and they would drive everywhere. And the Stallones loved going to Disney World. That was like their thing, Disney World, Disney World. So like I did a lot of road trips with them, and it's funny because you said how like you have an itinerary, and at this time you're gonna go get breakfast. And when I got in, I remember the first time,
So
like
embarrassing.
vividly, I was like, okay, let's go get Dunkin' Donuts before we head out here, you know, on this first trip. And they were like, no, we're not eating breakfast right now. I'm like, wait, what? We're not getting like a bagel or coffee.
You know,
or
like
something?
a pre-breakfast.
No. there's no first breakfast and second breakfast. There's just
It's like your soon-to-be father-in-law is like, Taylor, who's this guy you're dating?
Like, who's this guy?
You think you could take a
man.
train home?
and it was just like it was totally culture shock to me. I guess I don't know if that's what you call it.
Yes.
Just like I've never been on road trips before, so like going on road trips with them was like a totally new experience for me. You know,
I can almost imagine like you're like sort of like not getting the message, and every time you get to a rest area, come in and be like, "Oh, this is Dunkin'."
Yeah.
You're like, no. I'm just gonna grab a coffee.
I'm sure there's more.
Want anything? No, munchkins.
Yeah, and I get it because they had to drive all the way to Florida, right? So like there was a time frame of how far you were gonna get, and they were on that time frame. So
Oh,
You're like, come on,
so
guys, we're in
organized.
Staten Island. Let's take a break.
I'm like, we
Right.
can't get a Dunkin' Cheeto here with a bagel.
Yeah, that was
What's the guy got to do around here, huh?
Oh,
Crazy.
man. My
man.
dad, I don't know if my dad was necessarily like on this strict like timeline. I don't know. We just happened to always get there. But back to like what Height was saying about like the fighting and stuff like that. My dad had the sickest road rage. Oh my God. Like I learned half of my good words from him. Like, you know,
Oh, yeah. Right?
like, and my mom would say, she's like, Tony, don't speak like that. The kids are in the back seat, or they can't hear you. The people you're yelling at, you know. And it would be like a lot of like honking and hand
man.
waving, and you know. Or my dad would be a little stubborn, and my mom would be like, Tony, it's time to go. Pull over. We have to take a sleep. You have to sleep now. And he's like, no, just a little more. And she's like, I just saw
No one
you
tells
drift
me when to
off. You
sleep.
know. Yeah, no, like, and she's like, you have the kids in the car. And then he was a heavy smoker.
I'm not resting until I get to south of the border.
Yeah, and then like my dad, like man, he'd be smoking his Cool 100s, like a whole like packs upon packs, just
Oh man,
smoking.
who sat in the left side? Who sat in the driver's side back seat?
I think my asthmatic brother.
Yeah, because he probably got a lot of secondhand stuff going on there, right? Ash in his eyeballs and like.
Right, he probably
Jeez.
was. And then like, you know, like, and then because my mom would, I guess, like, again, she hated the smoking, so she would always be like, that's enough now, another one, that's another pack, and he'd be like, be
Your
quiet.
dad's probably like lighting the next cigarette with the end of the fun he was smoking.
Legit, like he legit was like chain smoking, like, and
he's
single
like,
hand
I'll
driving.
show you. I don't need
My
a
dad
lighter.
was so
I'll keep
cool,
going.
man.
Don't you
Let me tell
love all these memories you remember like as a kid, like all these crazy little things that like your family does?
Yes, no, I loved
Yeah,
it.
but like when you're older and you like think back on it, you're like, oh man, the math doesn't math at all. Like my dad used to do this thing where like he still says it to this day. He tells everyone that he has an odd shaped body. And he's got really long legs. Now listen,
Odd-shaped
my dad
body.
Okay.
is not a frog. My dad is not shaped like a strange dinosaur. My dad does not have a strange shaped body. He would use this
He's
as an
shaped
excuse
like the
to-
worms from Men in Black.
Yes, it makes no sense. So that he would use this as an excuse to have like his seat practically in the back seat. So like the whole
yes.
seat was like reclined, and
he's tall.
little Michael Height was back there,
Getting crushed.
you know, crushed. Yeah, oh, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And my dad would like do this thing where he would hug like the left part of the lane because my grandfather was like a cab driver, and I guess like he must have told him this was a thing to do. Oh my God. Always like almost creeping over to the next lane. It was felt so unsafe.
Yes.
And it was like,
That's such an old school thing. Cause it was like always like you keep the line where like your registration or inspection sticker is. My dad used to like hug it too.
If two people are going in two different directions and they both do that, that's a problem.
Kind of merging, kind of goes.
You know what?
It wasn't a car ride if you weren't like a little nervous for your life a little bit.
I mean, risk it for the biscuit.
This is why I took a plane. This is exactly why I took a plane.
Yeah. Maybe you weren't so far off, man. That's crazy.
You know what I did?
Those, like, oh, go ahead. Yeah.
What I did like about car rides is even when we did get to stop to eat, those places, like all those new places that you would stop along, like I-95 or whatever.
Shoney's, Waffle House.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Waffle House. I love Waffle House. I've never had Waffle House before. I love me some scattered,
scrambled,
oh, man. I had Waffle House until I was like, Gene and I visit a friend like in like the Carolinas or whatever. But what was it? Roy Rogers was around. It was some like buffet. I forget my parents used to go to. Where they weighed you to get in. But it was only in PA or whatever. And they always had to wait.
Oh my God, yes. Wait. It was one of the Amish buffets.
Yes.
And then you would get in the scale and that would dictate your price.
Yes.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. We did this. Yeah.
What is this?
And then my wife and I were like laughing about how wildly inappropriate this is. Like, you go with a friend and like someone walks in and like they're both the same age and like a kid's like 75 cents and then another kid stands in at like $2.50 and you're like, oh my God. And it's like, and it's like therapy bills for everybody.
So my dad, bless my dad and my mom, cause my dad wasn't like a skinny man, but he was very tall. He was like 6 feet. Like he was like kind of like just like that old school like Italian build or whatever.
Right.
And my mom was short, but she was a little curvy, a little fluffy, and so he would always be like,
fluffy.
Like he'll get on, he'd be like, oh, like muscles or whatever, and then he'd be like, okay, he's like, oh, she's expensive, this one's expensive, because she was a little chunky. And
my God! So would your mom like slap him, like hit him on the arm, and be
she'd
like you're embarrassing.
She's like, stop it. And then he'd be like, oh, when it was like me, because I was like small and little, and he'd be like, oh, I saved for this one. I'm like, yes.
Oh my God. He's like, Sarah, come here. You're gonna offset your mother.
My poor dad, my poor mom, I should say, and my dad just like he had a whole like the audience because everyone's like waiting online, so he had like a whole like crowd to like entertain, saying this.
Like a microphone comes down, he's like doing stand up. It's like
I don't know how my mom didn't kill him because I think I would have strangled.
Oh my
Gene
God! By the way, I am going to take total street cred right now. People at home, if you are listening and you are in the South, I just rolled up with a scattered, smothered, covered, chunked. I have been to a Waffle House at 2 a.m. That is knowledge right there.
Can you say that 5 times fast, though?
Scattered, smothered, chunked, covered.
Dude.
Covered cheese. Covered chunks as onions, I think. Yeah, anyway, it's been a while.
I haven't been back to a Waffle House since when I was a teenager. Before in a long time.
Right? Well, because we're Jewish and we traveled during April break. And so it would be like, what am I saying? No, we would travel under April break, but we would also travel on during Christmas break too. And I can't remember, it was either Christmas or Easter. It was probably Christmas. So most places are closed, but Waffle Houses are open like 365 days a year. So like that, I remember one time we were traveling and like my parents were like, we don't want to go to the Waffle House. And I was like, let's go to the Waffle House. Because it looked like so exciting to me because it was like so many of them. There were always like the glowing lights and all that. And we ended up going and my mom was all excited because they had like pecan waffles. She thought she was fancy.
Ooh, pecan waffles.
Yes, pecan waffles.
Great. Right? Oh my God.
Man. But
so
see, like that reminds me like all like the good stuff, like or like the fun like memories. Like I remember one time, my parents loved the Amish country when we used to go all the time, or Dutch Wonderland, and I remember it was so hot. No, it was Busch Gardens. I'm sorry, it was at Busch Gardens. We're walking around. It was like 5 million trillion degrees out. And we're just like sweating, and we're always like begging, like for like the wand with the lights or the stuffed animal. And like, I don't know about your parents, but we always got like, no, you have enough at home.
Yeah, basically.
And we're like,
you
and
can't
my
bring
mom
something bigger than you.
And like my dad was like the biggest kid, so finally he looks at my mom and he's like, Carmen, we're all melting. Let's just get one of those slushies. And she was like, fine. She's like, it's a lot of sugar, but okay. And Oh my God, that, because we were like legit, like it was like miserable. Like we were sweaty, and like we all got like they're like
It's
different
so
like
hot.
fruit shaped like cups. Like I had a
Yeah.
grape one because it was purple, and I think
Nice.
Anthony had a strawberry. My dad got like whatever. My mom
Oh my
got,
God.
and like it was like that feeling. We all like sipped it. And we all like looked at each other like, yes, like we needed this like slushy
This is the
slurpy
greatest
thing.
memory of all time.
It
That
was
is
the
amazing.
best. And I remember we got back into the car and like we almost burned our butts off because it was so hot, like
Yeah,
the
it's
leather
like
seats.
The leather like sticking in your skin and like burning you.
But
Oh
my
my
mom's
God,
one
that's
hack
amazing.
that she always shared, or she always like had, was that she took the towels from the hotel room and she would wet them before we got, or like she had like the water bottles and she would wet them, and then she would put it on the seat, so we sat on a wet chair, like on the wet
That is
leather seat.
really smart.
Interesting.
Yes. So we'd always do like a test, like okay, that's really hot, like and then she would just,
That's crazy.
and
Oh my
literally
God,
the
that's a good
towels would
idea.
dry up like hard, like because like within 5 seconds, because it'd be so hot, you know. But I remember that was like my favorite memory, like back in the day, like because she finally gave in, and we had that
like, ha,
sweet
ha, ha.
sugary corn.
There are not many
syrup.
days where we win, but this is the day that we did it.
Yes, but I remember my dad was like a kid at her. He was like, "We need it," and she was like, "Fine."
See, there was this one time where the Stallones went on to Disney again, and they asked me to come with them, and I was like, I can't this year for whatever reason. And they wind up meeting George Lucas. Are you kidding me?
Oh wow!
What? Yes, yes.
Darn it.
George, the man, the myth, the legend, George
How
Lucas.
in the world?
Yeah,
And you're like,
and
don't worry,
was-
someday we're gonna name my son after Lucas.
They're like, next time.
And it was
your
funny because
daughter.
my father-in-law was, they were all shopping in downtown Disney or whatever, and he was looking around and he was like, I think that's George Lucas. And he was like kind of incognito in a hat. And he goes up to him and was like, are you George Lucas? And he knew who he was, but, he
Right.
was just kind of playing it off. And there he was. They met him, and they all, if I was there, I could have met him myself.
Right. Like, would never wash your hand again. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh
Darn.
man.
Regret.
Oh man, that feels rough. You know what? But you know what? You'll always know that you are like 1 degree apart from meeting George Lucas.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yes.
I dropped the ball, guys.
I love it. All right, so this is fun. We can definitely talk a lot about like all the things that we went through, and it's like therapy. We all feel a little bit better as we continue to talk about the moments in the car, going to south of the border, and paying 5 cents to use toilet paper. That place is a wild ride, but it's not about that. We're gonna move on to now as some tips and tricks and things that we kind of figured out after being scarred and then having children, and some of the things about going on trips and stuff. So maybe we could start out with like the booking and the planning and that whole thing, kind of like getting ready to go on a trip. So one thing that I kind of realized much later in life, is that many travel agents don't actually charge you. So this is kind of a thing that maybe if you're kind of grew up not using a travel agent, some travel agents don't really charge you for their services. They kind of are like partners, so that when you go to like a hotel or you stay there, they get paid that way. So like they get like almost like a finder's fee. So when it comes to like buying tickets or staying in a hotel, sometimes they get like access to special like coupon codes and things that they could see. So sometimes it's actually cheaper or more beneficial in the process. I'm sure there's always like examples where like things don't go people's way and like whatever else. So like obviously vet your people, go on Reddit, go on Facebook Moms. Go to like, your local marketplaces just to see what people are talking about. Maybe they have a recommendation, but we found that like going to Disney and stuff, that was very helpful. And now we're kind of figuring out our trip for our son's bar mitzvah. We need to kind of get some expertise, but we did find that if you end up staying in an Airbnb, usually that's kind of the end of the conversation because the travel agents won't make money that way. So they kind of say like, if you do that, you're kind of on your own, but I guess they must make most of their money through like hotel stuff, but that's just something to keep in the back of your mind.
The more you
Good to know.
I like that.
Yeah, we usually do like the Expedia or whatever, like website. Like you get like the hotel and the airfare.
Yeah, but that's smart. It'd be when you bundle stuff, right?
Yeah, we try to bundle. Especially when you're traveling with the kids.
And we've also done like BJ's too, or Costco. They kind of have like packages sometimes that you can look into.
Oh, that's
I was just
smart.
going to say that. Like, that's not a good place to look. But one of the things that we did notice, and we're not like big cruise people, But we want to be. But one of the things we noticed that with cruises, especially, was this back to this whole like travel agent or like, you know, behind the scenes kind of stuff, is that there are a lot of like deals and codes and like there's these codes that you'd have to give to the agent that you're talking to. So in our case, like there's 5 of us. You can't book a cruise with 5 people online. It has to be 4 people or less. So like then you need to deal with having a second cabin and all this other stuff. So like we have to call the person. But like when you call the person, you need to mention like these specific codes and things, and then they're able to like access them and look them up. And like there's like names of them, but there's also codes, like almost like, for example, like if there was a thing of like kids sale free, you have to mention like that phrasing of kids sale free or like whatever the thing is. And then there's some other like little fine print and stuff. But like having access to those things on like cruise.com or things like that, or talking to somebody is definitely helpful, because, you know, on just going on the website, it's like buying a car, you know, it's like the MSRP type situation. So you have to kind of know how to get the deals. But that was definitely helpful as we're kind of like working on that stuff.
No, some of that stuff's annoying though. It's like, how come they don't mention these things? Like, I get it, it's a deal, and you know, but like people are all trying to save money. Come on, mention it. Like, why do we have to say a catchphrase in order for us to like get a deal? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's also like, I forgot what you call it, but there's like a section. There's like almost like there's a word, I can't think what it is, but there's usually like a specific quantity of like this price groupings, and then it goes up a little bit. Then there's the quantity of this one. Then like if you wait too long, there's a quantity of this one. So like when they sell out of that deal pricing for that quantity of people, then that deal is gone completely, and then you're the next group of people, the next pricing. So that could be a little hairy on certain packages and stuff. But you know, I guess the trick is to try to do it early enough, and then you kind of hope for the best, I guess. What about I guess like one thing that maybe we often have loud or heated arguments sometimes on trips is food stuff and going out to restaurants and stuff. So one thing that I try to do to be a little bit more proactive is try to plan out some of those food things ahead of time. So I find like I do like the trifecta of like Reddit, TripAdvisor, and Yelp to kind of like sort of like triangulate what a good restaurant is. And then there were 2. And then what I would find is that like sometimes you go on Reddit and you find like people find like, oh, well, if you go here, you got to go to this place, you got to go to that place. And one time, I don't remember if I'd mentioned, we found like this place that was like supposed to be great for lobster rolls at this like gas station. I thought I was like the bee's knees. I'm like, guys, I found like the place we're gonna go to.
Right.
Get to the gas station, they don't have lobster rolls. And it was like, and I'm not even kidding. We drove like
you drove for these lobster tails.
Took like a detour. Yeah, we drove like I easily drove like 30 minutes out of the way for this. And then I was just like, you know, tail between my legs, like going back to the car.
Like, all right, well,
nope, they don't have them. So that
all I got was
lone,
these Skittles.
Yep, that little lone comment on Reddit, not good enough. You got to like fact check it. You got to like go in there and find like someone else who agrees with it. So I always say like go on Reddit, find some really good stuff, then like back out to Yelp and then look for things. Like for me, like when I think about like a certain kind of food, I think of like what is a dish that if I really like this food, like I would order, and then try to find like what people are saying about like the really common dish. And then sometimes you're like, all right, cool. They're not making like pad thai spicy or something like that for Thai food, whatever. But anyway, in general, good old Reddit, great place, but you gotta fact check so you don't end up at a gas station without lobster rolls. Nice.
Well, like when we done like road trips to like Myrtle Beach, like our first trip when we went with our good friends, we packed the car. We even brought our groceries, and that felt like an amateur mistake once we realized that was kind of silly between like eating through it on the 12-hour trip. But it took up so much room in the car. So then the next year, what we did was pack enough for just snacks for the 12-hour trip. And then we went shopping at like the Walmart or whatever at the condo or Airbnb that we're staying at, because one, groceries tend to be cheaper compared to at least where we are in New York, New York prices. And then also too, like you got exactly what you needed. You didn't have to like pack it all in the car and all that kind of stuff. And you saved a little money in some ways. So like that's something like we did. And then like another thing, like when we travel like with our friends and like, again, like we're doing like a road trip type of thing, like, we kind of talked about like, okay, like what kind of meals are we gonna make? Like, you know, like that we could all eat, like, you know, like a taco lasagna or like, you know, like a big pasta dish or something. And then we're like, okay, so like we're gonna do that for like those 2 days. Then we'll eat out. Like, and we kind of plan like
that's
what we
smart.
can all eat and stuff. That and like one family did the cooking for one night, the other family did the cooking for the other night. So it wasn't like all on one like set or like just the women or whatever. And then we just make sure we had tons of snacks for the kids. You know,
that's really smart because I feel like when I go to like, you know, like we found like even like Ethan used to be, you know, he's still a picky, but he used to be way more picky. Like just going to like a Target or whatever or Walmart and grabbing like the core necessities for like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches or even like just the frozen ones. Like that got us out of so much heat, man.
Yes.
It's like you go somewhere and be like, just grab the frozen sandwich. It'll be fine.
Yes, just bring it with you just in case.
And he was happy. He was content, you know?
I love an all-inclusive for kids because with Sophia being so picky, it was like great because like we would go and we're like, listen, try this restaurant. If you don't like the restaurant, then there's the buffet, you know, or the room service or eat the buffet before we go to our reservation or whatever. So like, it just felt like, cause you know, like you're paying for everything. So it's just like, all right, try a little bit if you don't really like it. So like not trying to encourage waste, but like, you know, she's picky enough where she'd literally be like, I'll take a corner of something, you know, and like just to see
that just cost us a lot of money.
Yeah, like, but to see if she liked it or not. And she didn't, then, oh, well, then we go to the reservation, you know, like we go to the buffet and you get what you want or the room service, you know.
One thing we did too when we were away is we ordered like a BJ's order or, you know, a shopping list order and they delivered it to the place we were staying. So, like, you know, you can continue doing your vacation stuff, you know, and just put in the order on your phone. I mean, you're paying a little extra, I guess, for, you know, delivery and stuff, but it, you know, you're already in it. You know what I mean? So
you're ready.
Especially if you're
in
Orlando.
Yeah. So
no, that's smart.
If you don't do that, you're not really seeing fruit or salad or anything. You're like just, you know, it probably feels good to have your hands in some like real food. You know?
Yeah, like real food and like you didn't have to because it's expensive. Then like when it comes to like packing up the kids' clothes, like I said, I remember my pink little suitcase that like didn't do anything.
Right.
The kids love having their own suitcase, you know? So like we would always pack like all our stuff when their clothes were smaller, you know, with our things. And then they pack like some of the things that like their pajamas, like the fun stuff, you know, like if they forgot it, like, or they didn't bring as many pajamas, not a big deal, you know, versus like the actual real clothes they needed. You know?
Do you remember underwear? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, okay. My kids are good because like if we're gone for like 10 days, they pack like 20 pairs. And it's like, yes.
Yeah. It's better to have more than, of course. But like we started out, we were like, you got to count the days. And then
I think I was banned. I was banned from packing clothes with my family.
Congratulations.
That's hysterical. I wonder why.
I just mess it up, you know. So I kind of just let Taylor do it. I'm like one of those.
You let her.
I love it.
Man.
I let her do it.
Taylor, you still listen to this podcast? I hope you heard that. He lets you.
She's like, you let me do it? I do it because you are dumb.
Oh,
no.
The
hell you say?
Yeah. See, Taylor needs to give the list of clothes. I give the kids a little checklist of like the things they need to pack. Like, you know, like for like the cruise that we went on, I'm like, okay, like I looked up and I saw, okay, there's like a neon night, there's a white night, there's like whatever. So like to be festive, like here, make sure like one night we might eat formal or not. So like pack something that's a little more dressier than, you know, like for both kids. And then they had a little checklist. They checked off things or not. Like Sophia just kind of visually did in her brain. And then I would, like for Julian, because he's still little, I'd be like, hey, can I just double check that he did everything? You know, like you packed stuff or whatever. Because he also overpacked some things, you know.
Right.
I was like, where are you going for like these 4 days?
Are you going to the Arctic? I don't think you need this jacket.
Oh my God, that's so me. I overpack all the time. Taylor will be like, are you the one that has like 50 dresses or me?
You're like, well, just in case. I need to be like, you know, ready for anything. I like that.
I feel like that's funny because I feel like I'm always the one to have more shoes than other people. Because the thing is, like, if you wear shorts and then you wear jeans and then you're gonna like go out, I feel like you got to have like your sneakers, your backup sneakers, and your Docs, and then like, you know, and your Crocs because you're gonna go to the pool, right? So like,
right, because you need
shoes
like
are
that.
big. I always throw an extra pair of shoes in the trunk in case like you get like muddy stuff, whatever else, and then you get the backup.
Oh my God, you sound
And
like
also-
Gene. Gene has a million shoes too when he travels.
Yes.
And then
But
you
I
all
will tell
have
you-
big feet, so it's like so
Oh my
noticeable.
God, that's so funny.
It's like, really?
Nothing. There's nothing out there that is more refreshing. I'm telling you, I don't know what this is, but like switching your socks out midday when it's like been a long, crazy day.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
refreshing.
Yes.
So refreshing.
Just like the
you know?
toes get some air.
Toes get good, you know? So
clean
one thing that we
socks.
found, I don't know, this is kind of random, but it kind of fits into some of the stuff we're talking about, is like planning these trips out. We found that there's a really interesting website called Atlas Obscura. And what was really neat about this website, it was one of those websites that I found on Twitter from that Maddie McTech guy who's always like whatever. It was like, interesting websites, part 291, whatever it is.
Yes,
I don't know
I've
if you've
seen
seen
that
this
guy.
guy. So he's great. So one of the ones he says, Atlas Obscura. What is this website? So it's this website where you just type in a town or a place and it comes up with like all these random off the beaten path places you could check out. And sometimes those are the most fun
I love
places
that
because like
stuff.
you have like your tourist places you go to,
Yeah.
you have the things you want to do, and then like you need like a couple random kind of fun random things, weird things, and that's where I think is a great one for that. It gives you descriptions. It's free. I still think it's free, and it tells you kind of like places you could go to. I think Road Trip America is similar, but I think Atlas Obscura is really cool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Right? And I think one of the
Definitely
things
use that next time.
what I love is coming to the realization that you don't need to have your entire day filled up with activities. Like you need stuff. Don't get me wrong. Like going to a place without planned stuff for kids could be mayhem. Like you need some stuff for them to do. But I think like you should also plan in a little bit. I have it written here. Some freaking downtime because like when you go places, like you need to have some time to get some ice cream, to just chill out, to have a little thing. I think it almost feels like you did your chores and you get to relax a little bit. So I think you always need to plan, like have like your big thing, have that out like at the beginning part of the day or whatever else and get your lunch going. And then like in the afternoon, if you like sort of have a chill afternoon, at least you're like, well, we did the big thing in the morning. Now we get to kind of like do the more relaxing thing. And then maybe
like go back to the pool. Yep.
Yeah.
Or like get the Uno cards out or whatever game, like
Right.
that's what we did too, like usually, or flipped it if we knew that we're going to like do like the big whatever in the evening, like a more of an evening event. Like we would have like the chill morning, like ease into it or whatever.
Because I feel like you're having fun if you just go and you don't actually get to like enjoy the time with each other. Like you're I don't think you're getting the full experience of being. I said a full experience like 4 times. I'm stealing Levine's lines here. I know you're not getting like that important time with your family if you don't have time to just enjoy being with your family, you know?
And also you have to like remember your kids are like, if you have little ones, their tolerance is only for so much, or attention span's only for so much. And then when you have the tweens and the teens, like they want to have some downtime, like they need some downtime away from, like we all need some downtime away from each other because, the two start going. And plus they want to take their pictures and they want to talk to their friends a little bit, and that's like a reality that you have to like kind of know, like you want to respect it too. Like, as they're excited, and maybe they may be kind of slightly grumpy in the back seat traveling. They're kind of missing out on like their friends' activities and like stuff like that. Yeah. So you have to kind of be sensitive to that too, and kind of like remember that because if you're thinking like get off the phone and like don't talk about them and why are you worried about like we're here, you have to remember like that's their world. That's the most important thing for them right now. So like you have to kind of build in some time for the babies to relax and the tweens to, have their moment,
That's so true.
So
That's
I feel
probably some solid advice. You need to pay more
yeah,
attention.
I think so. Now, again, put that into practice. And then there are times that, as we're driving,
You're
we're like, we spent this money for you to be like this, so.
Now open your eyes
Been
and
there,
look
done
outside.
it. Still do it, probably,
Yeah. I could totally see myself doing
That's
that
good,
too.
though.
Like, because when I do like family vacations, I'm like, everybody, family vacation, put the phones away. This is like we got to be together all the time, 24/7. And then I'm like, maybe I should take a step back and let people have their own like.
I said we're having fun. Yeah, exactly. One thing that I think is really helpful too, though, is I think we mentioned this a while ago, but like you go to a place where maybe you're like in a more rural area and maybe the phone service isn't so great. One thing that Jacob found that I didn't even know about this until a couple summers ago was on your phone on Apple Maps, maybe Google Maps too, you could zoom out or onto an area, or like you first find an area like a city, and then you can zoom out and get kind of the screen into the size you want, and then you could click download offline maps. This is so incredibly useful when you are the person driving, you lose internet on your phone, and then you're trying to navigate somewhere. You can download the maps offline and you have it, and it's caked into your phone. And I guess it must use very little bits of data to figure out where you are on the map. But then you have the map, and even if you have no cell phone service, you still have a completely working GPS on your phone.
That's great. Instead of
very
just
helpful.
traveling
Very
around
helpful.
circles.
Yeah, we were in Acadia in Maine, and it was like, oh my God, we're screwed here. There's no service.
Right.
Yeah. I think like one thing too is maybe useful is always plan for a bad weather day when you go somewhere.
Oh,
Because
yes.
Sometimes you have them, and then you're like, what are we going to do? But whatever that is, do your thing.
I pack for like a bad weather day, and I pack for bad health, like for health situations. So
let's talk about that. What are some things that you...
My Pepto-Bismol, headache medicine, that's what I call it. Tylenol, ibuprofen, any medications the kids have. I also make sure I pack that. I make sure that it's labeled with their names on it, like in their original case. So like I'll just pack enough for like the trip and maybe like 2 days just in case. Because they say to do that 2 or 3 days just in case like a layover or something. And then if there's any extra pills, like I'll have either like an old bottle from another one, and like I'll relabel it or whatever. Like, because I don't want to bring all of it with me, but I do want to make sure that they have their drugs like labeled, with their names and things like that. And then so I pack all the medicines. And then with Julian, who has asthma, that I would always pack the nebulizer. But the thing with the nebulizer, if we're traveling and depending where we are, you have to plug it in. So now I didn't realize, and I bought portable nebulizers where it's just charged. And
really?
So that's been a lifesaver, like on trips and things like that, because he could just take the nebulizer in the car.
It's not optional. You need it. Yeah,
and he's older, so he could do the inhaler, but sometimes when he's not feeling great, he does like the nebulizer because it's just kind of like less work for him to suck in the medicine and stuff like that. So that was like a trick that I learned recently, is the portable nebulizer is like clutch. And then obviously he has a shellfish allergy, so I have a fanny pack for us to go at any point, whether it's to the restaurant or on a trip. In the fanny pack is his EpiPen, Benadryl, and an extra inhaler. And that's just like always there. Like we don't even touch that for anything. Like that's like, even if he runs out of it, like we really don't touch that one because it's for like just his to-go one that he just
you don't go back to the bag and realize you burned it already. Yeah.
Sometimes I just be thinking, because I'm paranoid that it's gonna be that time that we're not anywhere near anything, and we're gonna be some small town.
No,
yes,
100%.
And trying to find something. So
And while we're on the conversation of that little bag, this is so random, but always have like your little nail clippers, because kids find a way to get hangnails and it's disaster. Tweezers,
painful.
Neosporin, that thing, it's ridiculous.
Yes,
that is really smart. And also say like, even if your kids are older, still bring some baby wipes with you, because those
baby
things
wipes.
clean up on aisle 9. Those
Everything.
are helpful to have. Roll of paper towels, garbage bags. Keep those things handy, because road trips be road tripping, man.
Yes.
I don't want to blow up anyone's spot, but can I just tell people, like, I don't know why people do this and don't realize this. So, all right. Hey, other parents, listeners, only you guys, not for anybody else, just a hey, the parents, people. You go to the airport, those Starbucks, they are real Starbucks, and they connect to your phone, and you can place your order to go. Even if there's a line of 250 people, you just place your order, you walk up, you go to the to-go line, you grab it, you're out. I don't know why people at like JFK and those places do not actually use their phones like they would at any of the Starbucks. It's crazy.
Yes, it's anything with Shake Shack too.
Yeah, you can just place your order.
Everything. Yeah, you just place your order. It's great.
You're welcome.
Love an app.
You're not a bad person because you know how to use technology. Just me, I guess. All right, cool. Let's see. So maybe a couple like small things about packing might be kind of good to think about. One is like this idea of your stuff being separate from you. So like obviously, your carry-ons versus like the checked luggage. You really, I mean, for us at least, the stuff that you need, put that in your carry-on. Make sure you have it with you. And then I feel like always have like a complete outfit for every person that you're with in that carry-on, because when your luggage gets lost, that ain't good. And also for the price, what is it, like 5 air tags for like $80 on sale, whatever it is, put an air tag inside every one of your luggage pieces.
That's a good one.
Because you can actually track them in the airport or track them to a different airport. And some of the airlines are actually working with the AirTag technology, so you could actually help track down your lost luggage if that ever happens. So pretty good thing to have. You could get the AirTags.
Smart.
You buy like a cheap, like they sell like little stickery things. So you basically, you know how like the luggage, you unzip them to get to like the hard shell, slap those bad boys on the hard part, zip it back up, and then now you have a tracked luggage. And the way those things work is they connect to anybody's iPhone that are around them. It doesn't actually work on its own. It connects to phones. So like I could imagine it most of the time, there's probably the phone close by, and then that'll help you track it. So that's probably a good thing to have.
And
Right?
speaking of luggage, so I don't know if it's a good thing or bad thing. Like everyone gets like a luggage or like tries to make their luggage like, you know, because everyone's like a black or a blue luggage or whatever. But I read somewhere that if you have like a red luggage, those actually go in first on the plane, because then when they're taking out the luggages, they know that they've reached the last of the luggage, because, you know, picture it's all blackness like inside the plane where the cargo is. So they use the red ones to be like the wall of like, all right, you've reached the last of any luggage so that nothing gets left behind, supposedly.
Really?
So like if you're in a rush, don't bring your red luggage, because you're going to be the first on, but you're going to be the last off.
Oh, wow.
You know?
That's
so
wild.
if you have
and
a
you're
black
like, I
luggage,
guess get to my gate. Come on, let's go.
Right. And but the red ones are going to come. If you notice it, the colorful ones tend to come out last, because they're the ones that are like the buffer, or like the
all the black ones are being like just tossed in like willy nilly, and all of a sudden like
right, exactly.
Do you do the bow? Do you do the colorful bow? We do that.
So I do like a little like string, or I do like the name tags, you know, and you kind of see which one's yours.
Just slap on a picture of Juju and everyone in the luggage. Like,
yes, exactly. Like the same like thumbs up, like
that'd be amazing. Oh my god. Also, if you have the room, road trip, you know, obviously probably the road trip is the best. Sometimes like we'll just bring an extra rolly luggage, like a little like, you know, smaller one, and we'll put like hotel activity stuff in there, like board games or you know,
that's
like
smart.
just random things, because like when everyone's randomly putting things in trying to find that stuff, sometimes like it gets lost and then you don't realize that you brought something with you until you get home. But we try to have like every kid bring like a book for nighttime, and then like, you know, some entertainment, a couple board games, which we don't play, and then a couple of things to kind of keep them entertained. But you know, something in there is usually good, especially when you're getting ready in the morning and then you have younger kids. You got to keep them entertained while you're
I'd also like to say, just like
doing
save some room for like souvenirs, because you know you always bring home more than you left with. So just, you know, be aware. You're probably gonna bring home some stuff.
Have you seen that thing where like people will say like they bring clothes on? I mean, it doesn't make for the greatest pictures, I'd imagine, but bring clothes that you're getting ready to get rid of with you on vacation, and then you throw them in the garbage, or like when you're there, to replace them with things that you bought on vacation.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah,
I feel like you'd be dressed like really weirdly, like with stuff that you're like don't like wearing, but I don't know if that would work out so well. But you'd be like, well,
I do appreciate like a hotel or like an Airbnb where you have like access to a washer and dryer.
Oh,
you
yeah.
pack less, and you
definitely
just
need
wash things.
Because when you need it, you need it.
Or you
yeah.
go back home with clean clothes. That's amazing, moms. You know,
that is pretty solid. Because coming home and you're like, because I don't know about you guys, I am happy to do the laundry, but the moment that all the laundry gets mixed together, I'm like, no, I'm done. I like, it needs to be separate, because like digging through and figuring whose is brutal. So bring those garbage bags. Garbage bags in a duffel bag. If you bring an empty duffel bag and some garbage bags, and then you throw in a couple of the dryer sheets inside of the stuff for the dirty laundry, because that makes it smell right, you end up keeping everyone's laundry separate. That makes life a lot easier if you don't get to do laundry on vacation, but on the return trip, then all of a sudden you got a bag of this person, that person, and everybody is happier.
Definitely got to bring like bags to put like the dirty laundry to keep everything separate. That's been like a trick. And then like if you're using like Bane suits and stuff like that, it's definitely like I've used the blow dryer to like just dry it up a little bit, because all suddenly if you bring it into the luggage wet, it's heavier, and then you have a problem rechecking in on your flight home. So that's been like. So we definitely make sure our bathing suits are dried, like, you know, are as close to dry as possible. And then like another thing is like kind of like what Levine was saying, like, and you were saying like having an extra luggage. Like I would bring like an extra like reusable bag for souvenirs or something, or sometimes things multiply. Do you know what I mean? Like when you like. Right, like, but how did it all fit? And like, if I didn't buy anything, why is it not fitting anymore? So like, you know, like just an extra bag just to put like that extra stuff that just somehow.
Because nobody folds their dirty laundry, so all of a sudden it's like balled in there, and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, no, exactly. I've learned to fold up the laundry.
Yeah, exactly.
I've learned just because to save the room or whatever, but like it still multiplies. I don't know what happens.
It finds a way.
And then you still lose a couple socks along the way, so I don't get that either.
Socks always so frustrating. Yeah. My wife's like, everybody has their hotel socks. Hotel floors are nasty. Like, we get it. Right. Bring them. One of the things I think is also good is it's very expensive for water. They do charge you up the wazoo, as you probably realize. We used to buy like a package of like whatever, like 20 bottles of like Poland Springs, whatever. And then we realized that was a lot of work, and it was really heavy and awkward and hard to get up the stairs. What we started doing is buying like the half-gallon or gallon containers of water from like Target or whatever else before we leave, or even at gas stations. They're cheap. They don't charge you a lot for those. So like the bigger water bottles that are like, you know, whatever, like the ones that like the big whatever brand they are, you get like 4 or 5 of those. You just chuck them in, and as you use them, you get some more. They're great because if you bring like refillable water bottles with you, then you just keep filling them up in the morning. Good to go. You know, throw them in recycling bin and move on. And it's definitely, because they're so expensive. They charge you like a ridiculous. And plus, like too, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes if you drink water, you know, if you're from a place and you're used to the water from the place, sometimes when you drink water from the place, it like bothers your stomach or like, totally, or it doesn't taste good. So, you know, entitled New Yorker. Sorry. So let's see. There were a couple other small little things. One is if you're traveling out of the country, we did this. We went to Canada. Is have copies of their birth certificates with you. It might be good to have 2, one on you, one in the car, or one in the hotel and one on you. You never know. Crazy stuff happens. It's probably good to have those copies of that. And then like, you know, just like be smart, right? You know, maybe also be good about one person take on the responsibility of having all of the chargers with them in one bag, label them as a Ziploc bag for people's names on them so they know. Yeah, that's you guys, right? See, there you go, Levine. You got your job. Taylor will let you do that. And then we got some other things, but you know, I feel like a couple other small things maybe to think about is just like how to keep people kind of entertained. If you have like, you know, if you like a subscription to like a music service, maybe go as far as like downloading some of those songs beforehand on their devices. Always like, or like
Netflix, download like movies. Yep,
definitely. Right?
Yeah, definitely do that.
And then one last trick that I don't know if this really gets anybody to a better place in life, but there is this little card deck thing that is intended for car trips. And what it is, it's called, I think it's called like Games to Go. And it's like portable road trip family games. They're fine. They're not amazing, but they're like almost like, you know, everybody come up with like a food that starts with the letter of their name, whatever it is. It's just like a silly way to kill time.
That's cute.
Because like, you know that when you're going to like, you're on vacation and you're like, all of a sudden, like everyone's trying to like get out of the hotel, get to dinner. And now you're like waiting for your table. It's like 20 minutes. Everyone's losing their freaking minds. You know, you have something like this, or like while you're waiting for the food, it just gets you to a better place, man. You know, you have your package of crayons, you have your other stuff, but sometimes when the crayons get boring and you need something else, it's good to have something. Yeah. So a couple random things that we heard from some of you guys. We read some articles. One thing that was kind of really interesting I wanted to just kind of mention, because I had never heard of this before, is teaching red light, green light to your kids, because when you're out in public, sometimes it could be very scary if your toddlers run away from you. But teaching them red light, green light, you know, screaming red light, and they think it's a game and they stop, you may have just taught your kids something very safe.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Really smart. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but I think we have definitely talked a lot about some little strategies. We have some baggage we unpacked. Mike Levine can now go to Dunkin' Donuts whenever he damn well pleases to get his Dunkin' Donuts before he travels. And, you know, Sarah D can go to Pennsylvania with a different perspective. Now we're going to shift over to the next part of the show. It's called Time to Unplug. This is the part of the show where we talk about things that are going outside of our children, outside of our travels with our families, because sometimes you just have to have something for ourselves or with our spouses. It gives us a chance to decompress, because you'll be a better we if you take care of me. And with that, what rhymes with that is Sarah D. So what do you got this week?
All right. So I am probably late to the show on this one as well, but I found it. TikTok. So if you're familiar with TikTok, there's like a sound now because of Halloween that's out and like all like it's a trend and you put the costume and like, you know, people like changing from like normal to like, you know, scary like makeup. And I'm like, what is that sound? It's so interesting. I'm like, what movie? So I was looking through the comments and they're like, this sound or snippet is from the Magnus Archives, and it is a podcast. You can listen to Spotify or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, like ours. And it's a spooky one, and it doesn't come out just for Halloween. It's like around all year round, and it's like eerie little quick stories. They're probably like 20-minute like little stories. They're creepy. They're not totally scary. They're kind of like that Edgar Allan Poe kind of feel, like where it's like something's like off. Little eerie, and then like that's it, like, but it's like the idea that people are coming in and they're like recording these scary like stories that are happening to people, you know. So
that's cool.
I like that.
I'm really digging it, I have to say. So definitely check it out.
I like it. All right, Mike Levine.
I don't know if anybody else saw it, but there's like this new Lego that came out. It was a Game Boy Lego. So like if anybody remembers the original Game Boy, they made it into like a Lego. So I've been slowly working on piecing that together so that I could like, you know, put it up on like my shelf or something to remind me of the good old days of Game Boys when I was traveling with my Game Boy.
With the puke green color Game Boy and the contrast.
Yeah,
oh man,
and
that's
the
crazy.
big gray block, you know.
Yes.
So
what do they do for the is there a screen, like a fake screen or something on there? Like what do they do?
Yeah, it's
like,
all Legos. It looks just like the actual Game Boy, and it's pretty cool. It's you know, it provides some downtime, you know, to just kind of slowly piece it together and relax. You know, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. All right, I want to see the final build when you're done with that thing. That sounds awesome. Oh
what about you, man?
I want to see this. This looks so cool.
Okay, so obviously we're getting ready for this episode for next week. We've been listening to audiobook, but you know me, I'm like, I get distracted. I see something shiny and I look the way. So I started this series. Liam from our other podcast campaign mentioned this great audiobook series called Dungeon Crawler Carl. It is fantastic. It is so sarcastic. It's like this crazy situation where like all of a sudden everyone on Earth who is inside gets like destroyed or whatever else, and they have this like dungeon that's created, and people that are still alive have to go into this dungeon, and like only some of them survive. And if you get to the end, like whatever happens, but it's based on like so much pop culture and like things that you would get from like the 90s and 80s and 2000s and like video games and movies, and it's so sarcastic. The guy's voice, he kind of almost reminds me of like a character from like American Dad or like Family Guy or something, and it's so funny. It's like it's just ridiculous if it happens. I don't know, I'm like maybe a quarter of the way through the first book, but it's an audiobook. I mean, there's audiobook, there's ebooks, but I'm loving it. I'm listening to the audiobook in the car. It's very funny. I'm digging it. I think you guys would dig it too, and it is certainly not for the kiddos. But I think we're just about out of time on this episode of Hey Other Parents. This has been so much fun hanging out with Mike and Sarah as we divulge the craziness on the New Jersey Turnpike or on flight, going to family vacations in Puerto Rico where grandpa's getting the ketchup bottles out. But we had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, talking about our experiences, and we like to take a special moment, of course, to thank our listeners, supporters for donating to the show. If you want to help support this show so we can keep making episodes like this one, we have a link to donate in the show. If you don't have the means to do so, we really do appreciate it when you tell your friends and your family about the podcast so you can reach more listeners. Maybe we can learn from them, they can learn from us in our growing community. If you get a chance, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We can't wait to explore this parenting thing with you next week and Hey the Parents, because every week it's an honest discussion about raising kids. Don't forget to hug your kids and charge those Chromebooks. That's new for me, for Mike, and for Sarah, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey the Parents is produced by Mike Levine, Sarah Desirmeans, and me, Michael Height. Our intro voice recording was done by the one and only Coltrane. If you like our show, we hope you'll consider going to the show notes and help support the podcast. Check the show notes for social media information and contacts, and we look forward to seeing you next time.